How you doing? This is Chris. Chris Comments, a show on common sense with common ground, or the exact opposite, whichever way you want to go. Common ground on with common sense, or common sense on common ground. It depends on how you want to look at it. No matter what the subject. Today's subject, we've got it's a little bit of old news by this time. 5 children found in Quemodo, Texas. It's a little county area. It's a little area around the border. 5 children, 3 Hondurans, 2 Guatemalans. One of those 2 Guatemalans was an 11-month-old. John Cornyn, he's one of our representatives. Another representative, Henry Cuellar. These guys are the ones that are complaining about needing more assistance and all this good stuff. Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. We got a worthless governor, Greg Abbott, who's not doing a damn thing. Instead, he's demanding that any kind of attempt, any kind of structure be shut down, just simply because it's done by the Biden administration. Now, this is his state, and this guy is making himself the most worthless governor ever. Texas has always had migrants. Texas has always had been able to keep on top of them. And the one time that it's a problem, it turns out he's not doing anything. You know, he's going, well, look at the government, and all this other garbage. He's pointing the finger and not doing a thing on his own time. To top it all off, he hardly did it even during the time of Barack Obama. And he absolutely joined Trump in doing not a damn thing either. He joined Trump for the money that was invested into making a wall, which, for the record, the wall that wound up collapsing, it was a total of 80 miles. And after a year, it collapsed. It was a worthless wall. To top it all off, the budgeting, the fundings to that was skimmed. You know, just a portion of it went to the wall, while the rest started to be, while the wealth, the cheer was being spread throughout the administration and everybody that was on his side, including Greg Abbott. I'm very surprised that the IRS doesn't go through his taxes and his accounts. Why Abbott is immune, I have no earthly idea. Why are any of these politicians immune? I don't know. But every politician that joined and backed up the previous administration in the wall should sincerely be investigated, simply because, one, there's not enough money that went to it because there's money missing, and 2, because the little that was spent on a worthless wall. It was spent on a worthless waste of time. The entire thing was a waste of money. And just not to be all dollars and cents, in the spirit of taking care of everything there and people at the border, nothing was invested in them either. You know, you didn't hear anything about how well the Border Patrol was being taken care of. You know, they didn't have no law enforcement believes that they're being taken care of. They have benefits to look forward to. In fact, they all think it's about defunding the police. They're all under the impression that everything is about being defunded. From the police all the way up to the Border Patrol. And the government agencies, oh my goodness. They're just not pulling through either. Particularly ICE, who has been releasing illegal immigrant felons into my state. At the Capitol, nonetheless. In Austin, Texas. 2 of them were sex offenders. Now, a small while back, earlier this week, there was a shootout in Times Square. And this guy who was known for petty crimes, stuff like selling bootleg DVDs still, which it's kind of hard to believe that these still exist, but he, that's what this guy was doing. He was aiming for his brother, but he wound up just shooting up, spraying an area around Times Square with bullets. one of those bullets hitting a little 4-year-old named Sky Martinez. And a cop, a police officer, Officer Alyssa Vogel, got the girl and got the little child and rushed her straight to the ambulance. Again, Martinez, Sky Martinez, okay? Now you take a step back and you look at the kindness and the rescue attempts that's going on in New York, of all places, and you take a look at the horrible horse shit that children have to go through down here at the border states in Texas. Under a current Greg Abbott governor who isn't doing a damn thing. To top it all off, is making things worse with false accusations and is demanding that those that are trying to do something positive be removed, plus the children or captives be held captive under control of Border Patrol, ICE, and any other enforcement that encamped migrants. Even during the time from 2018 to 2014, during 2 presidential terms, where those adult male faculty people were sexually violating people. They weren't just doing that. They were also beating up people. They were also treating people inhumane. But let's talk about the more immoral, which is the most immoral, which is sex violation of migrants and children. 4,500 count of migrants and children out of them. Migrants and children. 4,500. You know, it's amazing the differences of how we treat our youth, you know, simply because of some kind of status. Or simply because it's more convenient for a cop who's actually there, you know, one of them, by the way, to rescue that child, to get her straight to an EMS. It's a shame. It's a down shame. And to top it all off, here in Texas, where we have resources, we have tons of people. San Antonio has a medical center area that's so congested. You know, there's actually room for hospitals on the outskirts of the city, and there are. To the north of me, you know, there's about 4 different hospitals just right over here, about a couple of miles. To the south, we've got a couple, 2, and then to the south side, you know, we've got some as old as from the 1960s. The one General Hospital on Military is the one I'm referring to, on Military Drive. For those of you who are down here, for those of you who are not here, I can honestly tell you, this little guy sees that we've got a lot that we can take care of. We got a lot that can handle this. You know, we do group efforts, but it doesn't take just the Biden or any other presidential administration to handle this. We got to do it at a state level. We got to do it at a local level. No, we're doing it at a local level, but it only goes so far. My current mayor, Ron Nirenberg, who's got this, got everything set down here very well, has to go through a lot of opposition from our own state governor to top it all off. And so far he's doing it without the scandal that Houston had to face. Houston, oh my God, Houston trusted the National Association of Christian Churches, an organization that had a record of helping migrants, helping disaster reliefs, natural disaster reliefs, and all this good stuff. And to top it all off, that was their scapegoat. Well, we don't really do anything concerning migrants. We help out natural disaster reliefs. which is total bullcrap. Then, as to why in the world would they even be doing this then, What in the world are they doing offering their services? They should have told HHS a long time ago, right from the beginning, that they're not worth a damn. Not when it comes to saving people. Not when it comes to saving people. Fundraising and doing little huts and stuff like that for people that have suffered natural disasters is not the same thing as trying to house and sanctify and protect from attackers, human traffickers. It's not the same. It's not the same. And for them to claim they're more for natural disasters rather than housing migrants, well, they should have stopped right there. They should have told them that right there, and nothing should have been invested in the National Association of Christian Churches. Nothing should have been invested in. Certainly not $4 million. $4 million. How many churches? How many members? Okay? I bet you a bunch. It's not minimal enough. I bet you there were tons of them that showed up for this benefit, for this rescue. And they have a thing that's saying, well, we were requested by HHS Secretary Javier Becerra. Okay. And that stands all the more reason as to why they should have turned down the offer right from the get-go. If you were actually summoned and requested, you should have told them straight up. You should have told the HHS secretary straight up right from the get-go that you're more for natural disasters rather than housing migrants. You should have said that right from the beginning. The IRS, and you got the Better Business Bureau. I don't know who would be in charge of this, but somebody should be investigating this organization. It's a crook organization. It is a crooked organization. They did not meet the standards. To top it all off, they did not meet the standards of President Biden. They were supposed to put bunk beds in a big tent city. In this case, an abandoned warehouse. They're supposed to put bunk beds and let them see television. They're supposed to have internet connection and a place to plug up their phones. And that's if they came here with phones. And they dropped the ball. They took $4 million, got a warehouse, had them use the boxes that were in there as partitions for some kind of privacy, and they weren't even allowed to go to the restroom without group permission, which kind of makes me wonder, was there only 2 and 1 employee bathroom? Because most warehouses don't usually come with a bathroom around the corner. They're usually very limited. So, that being said, going back to today's problems with the 5 children that are found, apparently this is enough for everybody to say that this is that immigration is a disaster, it's a crisis, and the structure that Biden is doing is a complete disaster, a total mess, and all this stuff. And yet these are coming from the same people that are complaining, the same people that aren't doing a damn thing. They're not doing a damn thing. Who the hell are they helping? Are they there for those 5 children? No. Were they there for any of those children? No. John Cornyn and Henry Cuellar are the ones currently around the border area demanding that there be more assistance. Are any of those people that complained about these 5 children helping Cornyn or Cuellar? No. They're all just going on TV bitching. These people need to shut the hell up. Biden is increasing the numbers of refugee camps to 62,000 plus. Okay, now obviously that means there's more room that's got to be made in some of these refuges, and there's also has to be more refuges made for the refugees. asylum seekers, you know? Are any of these people that are saying that this is a disaster and all this stuff doing anything to help? No, they're not doing a damn thing. They're just bitching. Again, they're just going on television and bitch. They're going on your screen and bitch. They're going on your television screen, your internet, your racist uncle's phone, and bitch. That's all that they're doing. That's all that they're doing. So, you know, you got this going on. You got justice for that 13-year-old that was killed earlier this week, and they're trying to figure out what's wrong with this boy. Why did he do it? Was it the rap music? Is he crazy? Who gives a damn? Honestly, who gives a damn? The boy made a choice. The boy made a choice. His own parents were breaking down and crying. Why? You don't know? Maybe something should be happening to his parents too while we're at it. You know? And if there's anything into pertaining it to the migrants right now, it's the simple fact that these kids who could have come out just as messed up as that 14-year-old boy that stabbed a 13-year-old girl to death for whatever reason. For whatever reason he felt justified to do that, get placed into a cop car, take a selfie of himself and entitling it, "Has anybody seen Tristan lately?" You know, that smart-ass remark, that taunt to the law enforcement, that smart-ass remark for that girl's family to see. You know, for whatever reason he did all of that stuff. These migrant children could have come over here and wound up in the same hands, under the same influences, through the same brainwashing bullcrap that everybody out here is wondering is responsible for that 14-year-old. Okay? That kind of influence could have gone straight to these kids who are being rescued, who are being helped, who are being sheltered and hopefully protected, because right now nobody's stepping up right now other than my own stupid governor, Greg Abbott, as to speaking out to any kind of sexual violations, which again, so far, nobody has. Every single kid that's being interviewed is saying that they're being treated well. Every single person that doesn't believe it, or doesn't choose to, or just hates, is saying the exact opposite, all the way up to my governor. From anybody down here that's jumping in my ride, all the way up to a person of actual political importance, of actual society importance, is given into hate, naming even my governor, into saying that they're not being treated well. And to go taking a step further into accusing the social workers of child rape, you know, and demanding that the structure be shut down, that the refuge be shut down, and everybody be persecuted. Now, one of those workers actually had a good point. If they're to be persecuted, well, why not Greg Abbott receive the death penalty himself? After all, he's in charge of our state prisons. Yeah, he's that freaking stupid. His accusations are that dumb. They're nameless. They're you know, not backed up by anything. But yet he goes out with this accusation saying that this is what's going on. He has no testimony. He has no video surveillance. He's got nothing of the such. And yet he goes off with these baseless accusations. So, why isn't he being thrown in jail? As far as I can remember, making false claims is still a crime, especially concerning a crime. Accusing somebody of a crime that's not being a criminal or doing any of those crimes is a crime. It's a crime punishable by a certain jail time, if not federal prison time. Depend on the accusation, depending on how far this is going. So, this garbage that's going on right now, this whole let's praise the officer, and let's praise Officer Vogel for rescuing the little 4-year-old up in New York. But let's at the same time, as long as we're showing this kind of humanity, let's go ahead and give the same respect to the people that are in charge of taking care of these kids down here, as opposed to the people who are not only not taking care of them, but are taking our tax-paying dollars, $4 million for one of them, but also doing what this employee for SWK Estrella is doing. This guy is flagging sponsors, and he's trying to get rid of he tried to get rid of like a total of 100 kids through sponsors, to any sponsor that would claim the kid. To any sponsor that would claim the kid. He had one unification being done between a child and somebody that was actually related to and that could actually take care of that little child. One. He then tried weaseling out, slipping out a bunch of others without filling out the proper forms, without doing the proper background checks, just sneaking them out. He tried sneaking out a bunch of kids to any fool that would actually claim the child. And I shouldn't even say fool, because some of them were actual people that were trying to, here it is. Okay, they were trying to pick up compensation for the expense of getting that child from the people that actually sent the child here. Okay, there was a certain amount of payment to be paid. Some of these kids needed to get over here, and the person claiming them would receive their payment for getting that child in here. And this worker that so far nobody is naming tried sneaking off these children. Yeah, it's just a contractor. Yeah, it's just a contractor. So far nobody's unleashed any names still, because this is a couple of days old, I think a week old now, this knowledge. You've got all this crap going on, and the functions are still running. Okay? These guys are getting caught. They're getting caught trying to send kids out to settle deals and arrangements. And they're working through our companies, our American-based companies, American-based facilities. SWK Australia. SOS1 is another one. NACC, the National Organization of Christian Churches. And those are just the people that are taking government checks, okay? Government fundings, and they're weaseling through. We're also still talking about a government agency like ICE. ICE that's still sending, that's releasing criminals. Federal illegal immigrant criminals, okay? We are talking about the murderers, rapists, and thieves. We are talking about those. And here's the thing. They're getting weeded out. They're getting weeded out. How they're taking their place, I don't know yet. Like I said, I do these sharing common sense on common ground on my lunch break with all of you. Just simply because that's what I am. Just a lowly little worker. No differently than that is. So this is sort of the talk around the water cooler kind of segment, kind of commentations. And whatever the case it is that you are as a viewer, okay, we've got people getting weeded out. We've got law enforcement doing their thing, apprehending smugglers, traffickers, Don't forget that 100 count coming out of a back of a pickup, coming out of a back of a semi trailer. We had a total of 2,900 in 1 week apprehensions. You know, so the law is, as long as they're not in charge of caging kids, they're doing their job. And as long as they're not interfering, and we've got these organizations revealing themselves as crooked, and okay, whatchamacallit, the SOS1 actually had one of the contractors ratted out, okay? The NACC, as long as these people are slowly revealing themselves as the crooked pigs that they are, then we're okay, because we get to weed those out. And that's what's going on down here. Okay, I'm running out of time. I just now noticed it. I do apologize. So from common sense to common, on common grounds, that's the dealio. Y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. Stay safe out there, okay? Try to vaccinate. Try to encourage others to vaccinate. It's just better that way.